Good day, sir. Good day, classmates. So, we are a group 5 and here's the group member. So, that is a member. And then, we would like to tackle to all of you guys what is the government finance, theories of public borrowing, and then the third is theories of the public spending. So, the first topic po is who is the father of public finance? Well, the father of public finance is Mr. Richard A. Musgrave, is the father of public finance. Then Raja Chilean is the often referred to as the father of tax reforms. Financial governance refers to the way of company collects, manage, monitors, and controls financial information. Financial governance includes how companies track financial transactions, manage performance and control data, compliance operations, and disclosure. Then, here's the next slide. The three types of finance. First is personal finance. Personal finance is specific to an individual's situations and activity. Therefore, related financial strategies depend largely on persons' earning, living requirements, goals, and desires. Financial planning involves analyzing the current financial positions of individuals to formulate strategies for their needs within financial constraints. For example, individual must save for a retirement that required saving or investing enough money during their working lives to fund their long-term plan. This type of financial management decisions fall under the personal manage. In short, yung ikaw mismo ang magpaplano kung saan mo gagastusin yung sarili mong pera, yung kinita mong pera sa pagtatrabaho mo. Papalaguin mo ba to? You just already investing for other company? Or you just magtatayo ka ng sarili mong company? So, that call is personal finance. You manage your own earning. And then the next is corporate finance. This corporate finance, it means corporate finance refers to the personal activities and related to running corporation. A divisions or a department, usually it's set up to oversee those financial activities. For example, a large company may have to decide whether to raise additional funds through a bond issue or stock offering. Investment banks may advise the firm on such a consideration help it market the securities. So, it means, in short, sa isang corporate finance naman is may company na kailangan ng pondo. Kung baga hindi na sapat yung pondo nila para palaguin pa yung kumpanya nila. Kaya mangungutang sila sa iba't ibang bangko or else bibilhin nila yung ibang shares ng company na inaalok sa kanila. At syempre, magkakaroon na sila ng hati sa kumpanya na yun. Yun, yung bibili ka ng shares, you just already investing your own money para makatulong sa kanila. That is corporate finance. And then the third one is public government finance. What is it? Public finance includes taxing, spending, budgeting, and issues policies that affect how government pays for services and provides to the public. It is a part of fiscal policy, guys. So, the federal and state governments help prevent market failure by overseeing the allocations of resources, the distributions of income, and economic stability. It means regular funding and secured mostly through taxations, kumbaga, borrowing from banks, insurance companies, and then other nations also help finance government spending. So, it means, dito, sila yung humahawak ng pondo ng gobyerno. Alam nila kung saan napupunta ang pondo ng gobyerno maging para sa mga proyekto ng bansa. Kung magkano ang utang ng ating bansa sa ibang bansa, 'di ba? Para lang mapalago ang ating sariling bansa at kung paano kung paano nila nagagastos ng maayos yung inutang nila sa ibang bansa. 'Di ba? Kung magkano ang nagagastos, maging pautang ng gobyerno din sa iba't ibang bangko ay hawak ng, 'di ba? Hawak ng public government finance 'yan. So sila po yung nakakaalam niyan. And then the next slide is, so here's the 4 areas of public finance. Taxations, government expenditure and budget process, and public debt. 'Di ba? Syempre hawak talaga yan nila. Pagbabayad ng buwis, saan ba napupunta yung buwis natin? Syempre, public finance ang may hawak niyan. 'Di ba? Syempre, paano papalaguin ng presidente yung bansa natin? Saan siya kukuha ng pera? Syempre, kakausapin niya yung may hawak ng public finance. Yan, gano'n. Tapos yung mga budgets, yan din talaga yung pinaka humahawak ng pera natin. Public government finance. So that is, thank you. Please, the next reporter.
Origin of public borrowing. Mercantilism replaced the feudal economic system in Western Europe. At the time, England was the epicenter of the British Empire, but had relatively few natural resources. To grow its wealth, England introduced fiscal policy that discouraged colonies from buying foreign products while creating incentives to only buy British goods. So noong 1500s, ang mercantilism ay nakabate na naihatid sa magitan ng pagtaas ng mga export sa pagsisikap ng mga kolekta ng mga mahalagang metal tulad ng ginto at pilak. Pinalitan ng mercantilism ang feudal economic system ng Western Europe. Ang England ang sentro ng British Empire, ngunit onti lang ang likas na yaman. Upang mapalago ang yaman, inintroduce ng England ang fiscal policy na nagpapahina sa mga kolonista o colonies sa pagbili ng mga foreign products. Nag-create sila ng incentives na bumili lang ng British goods. Next is Keynesian theory. Keynesian economic is a microeconomic theory of total spending in the economy and its effect on output, employment, and inflation. Keynesian economics was developed by the British economist John Maynard Keynes during 1930s in an attempt to understand the Great Depression. Keynesian economic was used to refer the concept that optimal economic performance could be achieved when economic slumps prevent by influencing aggregate demand through activist stabilization and economic intervention policies by the government. So, ang ibig sabihin naman ng Keynesian theory, economic ay isang macroeconomic theory na nakabuang paggasta sa ekonomiya at mga epekto nito sa output, trabaho at inflation. Ang Keynesian economic ay binuo ng British economist na si John Maynard Keynes noong 1930s sa pagtatangkang maunawaan ang Great Depression. Batay sa kanyang teorya, tinaguyod ni Keynes ang pagtaas ng mga paggasta ng gobyerno at pagbaba ng buwis upang pasiglahin ang demand at hilahin ang pangdaigdigang ekonomiya. Mula sa Depression, kasunod nito, ginamit ang Keynesian economics upang tukuyin ang konsepto na ang pinakamainam na pagganap ng ekonomiya ay maaring makamit at maiwasan ang pagbagsak ng ekonomiya sa pamamagitan ng pag-impluwensya sa pinagsama-samang demand sa pamamagitan ng activist stabilization at mga patakaran sa intervention sa ekonomiya ng gobyerno. Keynesian economics focus on using active government policy to manage aggregate demand in order to address or prevent economic recessions. Also, Keynes developed his theory in response to the Great Depression and was highly critical of previous economic theories which he referred to as classical economics. Activist fiscal and monetary policy are the primary tools recommended by Keynesian economists to manage the economy and fight unemployment.
Good afternoon, everyone. What is public borrowing? Public borrowing is a money government borrows to fund public spending. The total amount of money that's account the central government has borrowed to fund its spending on the public services and benefits. Pag nag-borrow yung government natin ng pera, ang mag-benefits nito is mga public services, yung mga utilities, yung makikinabang yung mga citizen ng Pilipinas. When it comes naman sa public debt, the total of the nation debts, the debt of local, state, and the national government, an indicator on how much public spending is financed by borrowing instead of taxation.
Theory of public spending. So, what is public spending? Public spending or public expenditure refers to the expenses which the government incurs for its own maintenance, as also for the economy as a whole. It means expenses of the public authorities in national government and local government. Adolf Wagner, a German economist, propounded the law of increasing state activities. According to him, as an economy develops over time, the activities and function of a state or government increase. So, ayun nga, kapag mataas yung level of development ng ekonomiya, it means mataas din yung national income natin. And kapag mataas yung national income natin, the government expenditure also increase. The public expenditure increase in state activities like public education, public health services, infrastructure, and due to these activities, the government becomes more important as compared to private sector, and the government functions more efficiently. Ano ba yung role ng government? It's either protecting the citizens or promoting the social economic welfare. And by that, napoprovide nila yung pangangailangan ng tao. The government take up new functions in the public interest and to meet economic needs. And to justify the law of increasing state activities, he divided public expenditure into two: the internal and external expenditure, and stated why each will increase with development of an economy. And according to him, internal expenditure increases due to greater friction between economic units and people, high standard of living of people, easier access to capital, maintenance of large administrative units. And external expenditure increases as the strategic approach of a government changes from simple aggression to prevention of attack. It also increases due to the increase in demand for goods and services of the public sector. Adolf Wagner also argued that the income elasticity for government services is greater than unity. Public expenditure will increase more rapidly than increase in income of the public. To substantiate this, he gave variables that affect the demand and supply of public expenditure. Variables that affect both demand and supply of public expenditure: per capita income, density, and rate of population growth. Variables that affect demand: urbanization, industrialization, distribution of income, literacy level of people, age composition, alternative food services. Variables that affect supply: scale of production of government, quality of production, and intergovernment grants and independence of units. For
Variables that affect both the demand and supply of public expenditure. One is per capita income, two, density and rate of population growth. Variables that affect demand of public expenditure: urbanization and industrialization, age composition, distribution of income. Per capita income, ito yung nag-measure ng income ng isang bansa or government. Density and rate of population growth, nakaka nakakaapekto ito dahil sa paglaki ng populasyon ng isang area, mas lumalaki ang expenses ng government. Industrialization has historically led to urbanization by creating economic growth and job opportunities that draw people to cities. Sabi nga dito na ang pagpapaganda ng bansa at pagpapaunlad malaking epekto din sa demand dahil ito ay magbibigay ng trabaho sa mga tao at magbibigay ng economic growth sa bansa.
So, that's all po. Thank you po.